This is the best WhatsApp AI chatbot in the world. I'll first show you how it works and then we'll jump into the backend. Let's first create a meeting, choose the time, fill out some information, name, email, phone number, and other details, and click confirm. Once the meeting will be confirmed, it will create a contact in my Pipedrive as well as run this automation. Here we create a subscriber inside ManyChat. So here it is. And it will also add a tag to this contact to run the actual automation. It wasn't added for now because it's disabled. So if we jump here, you will see that there is an SMS and WhatsApp channels enabled, but there is nothing here. So if we add a tag like send WhatsApp, it will send an actual first message like, hey, it's Eugene, so you're booking, have a few questions, can we chat here? If we go to the WhatsApp, we have received this message. If we reply, hi, I have a question, I like apples, apples, you will see that, and again, pay attention that it's very human-like. It can send and receive multiple messages. That's why it's different. So if we go here, you'll see that the backend is grouping the messages. Again, don't worry, I will then explain later how everything is structured. But now it recognized that the third message was about apples, and then it said, okay, apples are great, whatever. So if we say, good, can you tell me about yourself in 3 paragraphs, whatever. So we are trying to get a longer response to see how it will chunk down the response into multiple parts and send it within multiple messages and not just one huge paragraph. So if we go here, okay, so this is, yeah, so this is the first paragraph, this is the second one, this is the third one. Will we get the fourth one? Probably not. Okay, let's say that we are not doing anything, right? So this is, a regular situation where we got the message and then we do not reply. We will receive 2 follow-ups. Again, pay attention that, see, any thoughts on my last message? And in 15 seconds, it will actually send the second follow-up. It is, for the demo purposes, I shrink down the time into the seconds and not minutes, hours, or days. But in an actual use case, you will wait, for a few hours to then receive a message. So patiently waiting. Now, this is the actual agent. Here's how the structure looks. I want you to understand it before we jump into the technical details. So we have the WhatsApp chatbot. It is not an agent. We do have multiple agents that we already deployed on our clients' WhatsApp, Instagram, and SMS channels. This is a very similar chatbot that I have running in my agency. When we will go through the ManyChat, you'll see that this is a brand new account that I created for the demo purposes. I'm not sure, guys, if you will like this type of the videos. If this video will get 100 likes, pay attention, I will create an actual use case review for one of our clients of how we set it up and how it's working live, okay? So let me know in the comments and put the likes if you want it. But it is like what we are looking at. This is not an agent since it doesn't have third-party connections to other tools. It's just made for us to qualify the prospect, nurture them further, and then convert the meeting. We have, 2 main use cases, obviously inbound and outbound. For my agency, we're not really working with the inbound traffic. Inbound goes into my calendar, and then once they book something in the calendar, then we send them the WhatsApp as well as the email and SMS confirmation. So it's not relevant for my agency, but as I said, I can, if you want, I can record a few videos on the inbound agents that we have worked with. For this specific use case, this is the outbound. For the outbound, we have 2 main use cases, again, sub-use cases. First, to qualify a prospect once the booking has been created, and this is what I showed you in the demo a few minutes ago. And then to confirm the details after a meeting. So let's say we have not sent the WhatsApp for some reason, and then we got the meeting with a prospect, and after the meeting, we want to continue to talk with the prospect through the WhatsApp and not email or SMS. This will also be considered as the outbound, since we are the first one who is sending the message. The flow looks very similar in both of the cases. We have call.com meeting created for the after meeting messages. It's a bit different in terms of the trigger. Then there is a make automation like this. This is disabled because it's giving an error on the creating subscriber, because we cannot import the WhatsApp number subscribers, because this is the very brand new account. This is not my actual account. So, and I requested the permission from ManyChat to allow to add the context through APIs. But the make.com creates a contact in ManyChat and then add a tag to run a search sequence within ManyChat, right? So we go to ManyChat, ManyChat sends a message, right? And the phone number that we're using for the WhatsApp bot locally inside ManyChat. And then once the first message got sent, this one, we're waiting for the response. Once the response has been created, there is a loop between ManyChat and Voiceflow. We use Voiceflow as an agent building platform where we actually build all of our text-based agents. So it's pretty simple. Again, so the trigger, then the make automation to set up the contact in ManyChat, then we're sending the default message, which is not AI generated, because we cannot do that as the first message, and I'll explain why. And then all the conversation is actually happening with our Voiceflow chatbot inside WhatsApp through the ManyChat interface. Let's first go into a simple scenario of Voiceflow, because ManyChat has a bit more moving parts and I want you to be comfortable with the backend first. So this is the agent on the Voiceflow, right? So we're setting up the bot persona, and then we are actually sending multiple messages. So if we run it, you'll see that it first says, hey there, this is Eugene, more accurately, digital copy of Eugene. And then we're like asking the question. If you look closely here, we have not received this message because it doesn't really make sense. This message is only got sent if this is the inbound, right, lead. So if this would be this scenario, for the inbound leads, we have separate sequences, and I don't have this in my agency, so it's not in this demo. Now, once we say something like hi, it will generate the response and output it here. Now, if you look closely, it's a bit different from a standardized Voiceflow or any chatbot setup because of multiple reasons. The first one is that after each message, we are actually running a set step where we are running the expression where we save the message that got sent to the user to the memory, to the custom memory variable, because we need to send each and every message that the user sent or receive, right, from here, from the bot to the memory, so that the bot has the context of everything that it got sent and not just the last message. Then we are running the engagement prompt, right? So this is a regular prompt where we are providing some details of the tone, of the style of the conversation to be informal. This is not the best scenario. It's not the actual prompt that we are using. As you can see, it does look like human, but some of the messages are not what we usually use, and we don't usually send that big of a messages, even though we chunk it down. So, but like, it will give you a pretty good understanding of how it works. And we have the bot persona in the system because the bot persona is set up here, but we do not display this reply to the user. We save this reply to reply variable. And now fun begins. We are analyzing. So we have another set AI step where we are setting the reply count and we are analyzing the reply length. So essentially, we just generated the reply to the user question, and then we're asking AI to analyze the reply and chunk it down and and think on how many messages we can send. So imagine if it's the longer reply, it will chunk it down into 3, 4, or 5 different parts. As you can see, we are providing some details on how to actually chunk it down. Now, and we are obviously outputting. Okay, so we are asking AI, please let us know how many messages we can send, right, from this reply. If it's the big reply, it will say 3. If it's the small reply, as you can see here, it only sent us 1 message since its reply was very short, and AI thought that, okay, we can actually send it within 1 message. Okay. And then we have kind of whatever complex thing where we have another AI step that is analyzing, right, the actual reply. So let's say here we, like, AI identified that this reply should be chunked down into 2 separate messages. And here we're asking AI to, okay, so now chunk it actually down, right? So here's the reply, right? And you need to split it into 2 messages and create the JSON structure, like message 1 and message 2. And then we use the JavaScript to actually, because this is the JSON that we're outputting, message 1 and message 2, and then we're saying, okay, so save message 1 into the output 1 and message 2 into the output 2, and then display it to the user. So that's why if we say hi, it will just send us, 1 message, because AI identify that it's okay, right? But if we ask, okay, can you send me your background in 4 small paragraphs? Again, so we're like intentionally trying to ask AI to provide a bigger answer. So it will analyze, right? So it probably created, so if we turn on the debug mode, it's going to be a mess, but whatever. So it generated the reply, right? So this is the reply that it generated. And then it decided that we would want to send this huge reply in 4 different messages. And that's why it output 4, then it went here, and then out of this whole thing, it created the JSON to then save each paragraph into a separate, into the separate output. I hope it's somewhat clear. And then we obviously display the variable output 1, save it to the custom memory so that the AI has the context about all of the messages that got sent and not just the last one, as I said. And then we're just waiting for the user reply. Now, this is the agent chatbot that is built on Voiceflow. The question is, how do we connect it to WhatsApp? There are a few different ways to do that. You can use a front-end softwares like, for example, ChatDash, where you can, literally connect your Voiceflow agent to the software and then deploy it to the WhatsApp channel. But it is not the most advanced way to do that because there are some limitations. You would not be able to process multiple utterances from the user. And if you ever chatted with someone through SMS or through any messenger, you will know that people actually talk like that. They do not talk like paragraph, paragraph, question, question, right? So they send and receive multiple messages. That's why we need a workaround. One of the ways is to build a whole, this is the most complex one, you can build a whole separate sequence of automations to actually do that, right? To not use any of the platforms. And this is what I was showing on one of the previous videos where I was displaying how we handled the SMS with for one of our clients, right? But A really good way is to use ManyChat because they have a pretty complex automation builder where you can do all these things. So let's go one by one. Before I continue, these automation builds, right? So this chatbot template as well as the ManyChat sequences are not available for free in my resource hub. So there is the first link in the description. There I show almost all of the automation builds that I do for free. You can actually subscribe, get an access to my free resource hub, and that's it. But if you want this specific agent build, you would need to join my bootcamp. It's called 99 Players. This is where I teach people how to make money, selling and building these things. So it's only available to my bootcamp subscriber. I hope you understand why, because it's very, very valuable thing, and I don't want to share it with a public yet. Okay, so now once we land into the ManyChat, you'll create an account. First, you would need to attach a WhatsApp number here, and you can either attach your phone number or you can actually get one from here, and then once you get this phone number, you will be prompted to connect it to the Facebook. And I have the Facebook business, Meta Business Manager, obviously, which is verified, and I connected it here. When we work with the clients, most of them, run ads on Facebook, and it's not a problem. If you have a client that doesn't have the Facebook, you would need Meta, Business Manager, whatever, you would need to set it up for them or use a workaround. Now, once we created the and once we connected the number, we are almost ready to go. So let's go through multiple automations that are running so that you can see how everything is set up. Here, there is a trigger, right? The trigger is the send WhatsApp. If you remember, once we landed into this prospect and I was showing it to you, I added the send WhatsApp, and it does, you don't see the tag here because it was removed, and I'll explain why. But essentially, once this tag is added, and it's added through this automation, right? So the meeting is created, we create the contact inside ManyChat with all the fields here, right? So with the first name, last name, it's just I'm not separating the fields in my booking link, so that's why it's only full name. There is a phone number, WhatsApp phone number, and email. So we are providing all of this information to create a contact. Then we're using the sleep just to make sure it's created, and then we are adding a tag called send WhatsApp to this user. Once this tag is added, this automation starts, and we are sending the pre-built message. And this is one of the things that you need to consider. You will not be able to send a personalized first message. You can actually personalize it with the first name. And there are some ways to personalize it. Technically, you can run a ChatGPT module here, generate something, provide this something in one of the fields. For example, again, this is a small hack. You can technically provide this something in the last name, right? And then you can use this last name as the variable in this default template. But you're kind of breaking the Meta rules and WhatsApp rules, so I wouldn't recommend you to do that. But this is the default message, right? And if you go to the WhatsApp channel, you can actually create them as the message templates. And I have just one, whatever. So after the booking, and here you can, set up all the different things. It will send it to Meta, and then they'll verify this message was verified within a minute. If it's a longer message with multiple images or files, it will take longer. Okay, so, and that's it, right? So we go here, and the first message got sent. Then nothing happens. we cannot message this user because he is not available since we sent the template, and now we just need to wait for the user to reply back to us. But we are adding a tag called bot, okay? And we'll use it for the technical verification in our further automations. Okay, it's pretty clear, right? We send the message, so the booking got created, we run the automation, we created a contact, we added the tag, we send the default template, and we're waiting, right? Now the user sent a message, hi. And this is like, guys, where the actual like fun begins. I know that it probably will be confusing. I will try to simplify it as much as possible because it's simple. As you can see, it's not like complex scenario, but you just need to really like go deep into why it's working, and then like it will be clear. The WhatsApp and Instagram have a things called default replies. And essentially, if you go here, you have the default reply, send the default reply. So it means that this like send this, and this is the automation, right? This is this automation. It means that once user types something that is not recognized by any of the automations, because like, for example, in ManyChat, you can do the triggers when, you know, users send a message and the message contains a certain keyword, right? Send a message, specific keyword. If there's specific keyword within the message, it will trigger this automation, right? So you can do that. But in case user sent something and this something doesn't trigger anything, right, within ManyChat, it will run the default reply. So the idea here is that, okay, how do we process multiple messages from the user? So user sends hi, right? Let's see here. User sends hi, I have a question, I like apples, right? So how do we actually process it? And the thinking behind it is that each of these messages, like each message will start the default reply automation separately, right? So this will start automation, this will start automation, and this will start automation, okay? Once we send the first hi, it's starting this automation and is checking the custom field, DM1. And the custom field is like, it's just the custom fields. It's pretty straightforward. There's tags and there are custom fields, okay? So we are checking, okay, DM1 is unknown, so it's empty. And it's obviously empty, right? You're watching the video, I haven't explained to you what the DM1 is, right? So it's obviously empty. We haven't ever interacted with this field. Yes. Then we are setting the DM1 to last text input. And this is like the variable that the message from the user is saved within ManyChat. So essentially here we're saving hi message, and it's like hi is saved in the last text input, and we're saving it to the user field called DM1. Okay? Now DM1 contains hi, and we're then waiting 15 seconds. And here's the actual delay. Obviously, like in the real use case, this is where you define for how long you will wait until the response, or for how long you want to group this, like essentially like for how long you're waiting for the user to send you the messages and then reply back with the actual message from the chatbot on Voiceflow. Now, okay, so hi, unknown, it's saved hi to DM1, and then it's waiting, right? Then it's waiting for 15 seconds. Within this 15 seconds, we're also saying and sending, I have a question. It starts this automation again. And you need to think about it as the like they are running at the same time. They are not like replacing each other. So this automation is still running. It's just like this message triggered like this first one and it's waiting, right? Say it's out of the 15 seconds, it has been like 10, like already, like 5 already gone, and we have 10 left. Then in 5 seconds, user says, I have a question. It starts another automation, which is, the group multiple messages. And now it says, it's asking, does the DM1 is unknown? No, it is known. So inside the DM1, there is a hi, right, from this first message. Okay? So once it is known, it goes here. DM2 is unknown. And it's setting up the DM2 with this I have a question, right? And then and then it starts the timer again. So now, once we send the second message, we have on the background, right, of ManyChat, somewhere on the servers, we have 2 group multiple messages automations running, 2 of them, 2 instances of this automation. The first instance like saved hi into the DM1 field, and there is, let's say, 5 seconds left of this smart delay. And the second message started like this, whatever, and it saved the I have a question into the DM2, and now it has the 15 seconds left. And same thing, I like apples, right? It started like in the DM1 is known, it's hi, DM2 known, it's I have a question, DM3 is not known, it's saving I like apples, okay? Now, the first, right, so we just set up all the fields, right, all the 3 custom fields. DM1 already ended. Let's say it's like 15 seconds gone, and it goes to the next step. We say count is unknown. I'll explain like what it is. Then we're saying, okay, tag is bot. And if you remember here, we're adding the bot tag because usually, like, let's say in the real scenarios of our clients, they receive messages that they don't want AI to process, right? So that's why where we want AI to work, we need to add a tag so that here it goes to the next step. Because if the tag is like doesn't exist, it will just, go here and nothing happens. Now, here we are setting the count custom field to 1. And then we're grouping the message. So, how to explain it? Let's say that, like, just think, like, count is 1, okay? We had 3 instances of this automation running. The first instance already been ended. Count is unknown, yes, so it goes to the next step. And then it's setting up the count. In 5 seconds, the second instance of this automation will go to the next step because the smart delay will be ended. But it will not go past this block because within the first instance, it updated the custom field count to 1. So the count is known, it's not unknown. Again, go watch this multiple times. The idea is that if we do not have this setup, it will, like, if we remove this, it will actually repeat sending us the same message 3 times because we have 3 instances running. We just need first instance to run and 2 instances just, to be ended. And this is where we end them here. But they updated the DM2 and DM3 custom fields to I have a question and I like apples. And the custom fields are not like they are not they are global. So it means that they updated these custom fields globally for this contact, right? So if we like remove these two instances, and if they are like, if they're going here and they are not continuing, this custom fields already been set, okay? So then we are grouping these DMs, right? So the DM custom field was hi, I have a question, I like apples. And here we're like essentially updating the user field user message, and we are grouping them through the dot, okay? We're just grouping them together. And then we like once, so like essentially this user message will have hi dot, I have a question dot, I like apples. And if you go here, we turn on the system messages, you will see how it, so see like hi, it custom field changed DM1, so it saved hi to DM1, it saved this to DM2, it saved this to DM3, and here new value, see user message, hi, I have a question, I like apples, and this like whatever, so just empty variables. So it sent, like it grouped this together, and now it's saved in the user message custom field. And I think it should be pretty straightforward from here. Here we, like once it has been done, we are sending the user here. We are checking, okay, tag is send WhatsApp. It means that we send the, like, it means that this automation has been run, right? Because this tag was applied, send WhatsApp. And we are, if yes, we're actually having two API requests to Voiceflow. The first one launches the Voiceflow agent, and the second one providing the response. Because if you ever worked with Voiceflow APIs, you will understand that like once you click run, you first need to launch the agent and like run. See, like I clicked and this is the launch. So if we like, it does, if we for the first time calling the Voiceflow agent through APIs, we need to launch it first and receive this message. But we already sent the user, hi, it's Eugene, right? So we don't need to send the user this. We just need to reply to this, to his question. So essentially, this is what we call an empty call, where we are, making the call and we are like essentially creating the conversation with the user on the Voiceflow backend with this contact ID, and this is the variable from somewhere, whatever, from contact ID from ManyChat that was generated. This is the ManyChat contact ID, and we're like using the authorization key. But we're not displaying this. We're not displaying this to the user, right? We don't need. So this was launched, and the second call is actually, so imagine this call, it launched the automation, it launched the agent. Imagine like it's this. And now with this second call, we're actually in the body, you can see action, text, payload. We are providing user message, the grouped message from here to the payload, okay, here. So essentially like this message goes here through the API, okay? We send it, and now we are actually like getting pretty similar response, right? So lol, apples are great. So it's like very similar response. This AI is like doing it differently, but whatever, the idea is the same. So here we are, just mapping the response. We are mapping the variables. And then we are providing the response 1, response 2, response 3, response 4. So the idea is that we are like in the response mapping here. Once we receive a response from the Voiceflow, since we are sometimes asking, not sometimes, we are all the time asking to chunk it down into multiple messages, right? So sometimes it can send one message. and we can map this first message into Voiceflow response. But what if, remember from our previous example, what if it sends us 4 messages? And in the response, like in the, once we like call the API in the response, it will have like multiple messages that were generated, and we need to map each and every message to the custom field here. And then we are displaying the custom fields. But in this case, for example, it only sent 1 message. So it saved the Voiceflow response to this, and others are empty. And this is one of the advantages of like ManyChat. I'm grateful that they have the setup like this, which allows us to essentially even like to do that, right? So, and it doesn't like do some weird sending empty messages, because this is the message that we're asking to send, but if this variable is empty, it's not sending anything. So it's pretty fortunate that we have it. And then let's say we receive a response, we are clearing all the fields, right? So all the DMs, because we don't need them, we are clearing all the Voiceflow variables. We are removing the send WhatsApp and adding the outbound WhatsApp for the purposes of tracking the conversation, to make sure that, okay, so we know that this is the conversation where we send them WhatsApp first. But we remove this WhatsApp tag because on the second message, we don't want to go here, right? We don't want to relaunch this conversation again. We just want to go here and simply provide a response with the API, okay, call. And then we are grouping the messages again, right? And it's an infinite loop essentially. So it's like saying good, see, it cleared everything. It set up again DM1 to good. Can you tell about yourself? DM2 in 3 paragraphs, DM3. It then good, can you tell me more 3 paragraphs? It grouped it, it sent the whole grouped user message variable to Voiceflow, it provided this, okay? And the last step is just to set up the reminders, right? And the reminders are working pretty simple. They're pretty simple. So if the contact, and you have this field, if the contact hasn't responded, and like obviously it's 15 seconds, in the real use case you would set up something like 2 hours. Within 2 hours we're checking, okay, the follow-up is unknown. It's very similar structure to the group messages. Is the follow-up is unknown, yes or no? If yes, any thoughts on my last message? Then we are waiting again 15 seconds. Here you would wait for something like 24 hours or 23, since we don't want to go over the 24-hour window within Instagram or WhatsApp. And then we're sending the meme patiently waiting, okay? And if you ask like, why do we have this? Cause we don't want, so these follow-ups are not dynamically generated, and currently we're working to try to find a way how to dynamically generate a response, like a follow-up based on the conversation with the AI. But it's hard to do because like you cannot do it with Voiceflow. Or you can, like technically, and this is what we're thinking, you can pass the whole conversation history from Voiceflow through the API. You can retrieve the history from the API and then go to make, in make process it, create the follow-up, and then like do the, from here, do the actual HTTP request, right? Like here, right? So external request to make, retrieve the follow-up, and then provide to the user. It would be cool, and this is what we're working on, but for now, this is static. And since these are static, we don't want the user to receive the same follow-ups over and over. So essentially, if the follow-up is unknown, let's say user received this follow-up, and we say set follow-up 1-to-1, like so the field is known already. And again here, so the next, let's say after we sent like patiently waiting, the user like decide to respond, and we go back and forth, and then in like a day he then ghosts us again. We want to follow up with him again, but we don't want to send the same meme in the same message. So here it will ask, okay, so follow up is unknown. No, it's known because this follow up was already sent, and it will go here. And you can literally like create an infinite like 10 what are different follow up sequences so that it's random. But again, so the ideal use case, you would use AI for it, but if you would use AI, you would not be able to use the memes, and the memes are a great way to engage with the user. So this is kind of the setup, guys. Again, just want to be clear, this is a very similar setup that I use for my agency and very similar in structure to what we are using for our clients. It is available inside my bootcamp if you want it. If you want me to build, like in my agency, to build something for like this for your business, let me know. All links in the description. Thanks for watching. Peace.